In this episode, I'm going to be talking about transitioning from laning stage and how to set up a good game for you from the laning stage. So in this one, I'm playing a Red King against Team Secret. We're playing against Enigma and Ember duo lane. I'm playing with Chen. So from here, even though it's minute 4, I'm already setting up how to kill the Carapod, because this is really important. I don't want my tower to get pressured, because if I lose my tower, automatically these guys are going to start invading my jungle, and my map is going to get smaller and smaller, and I don't want that to happen. So I just keep pushing the lane. We have a pull, but we're not pulling just because we want to push the lane. We don't want the Carapod to deal damage to our tower. Top 1 priority. I almost died because of it, because they know how important it is to kill my tower, and they try to kill me and get the tower. But this is something you have to do. You have to tank this one. Even if I die, let's say I died, it's still going to be worth it, because I want to kill this Carapod. It's really important. That's it. Now I did my job, and you see how after a minute and a half, it's going to open up my map way more, just because I saved the Carapod. As we can see, I kill the Carapod. I'm going to kill one more wave right now, and that's when I can start jungling. But you see, there is no pressure on my lane. This is so important. There is no pressure, nothing is happening. I can allow myself to just start jungling. And that's what I'm going to do. Start jungling. I have skeletons, and yeah. You see, there is no pressure. The lane is here, I'm jungling, super happy about it. That's the reason why I'm top 2 net worth. Even though I'm playing against Enigma, a guy who's denying my creeps, you still manage to get good net worth. It's because you're not allowing them to get your tower. Even though this is like an old patch and the ancient camp is here and not around this spot, it's still relevant, because you still don't want to lose this tower, and you still this would be a big camp. You still want to farm that. You still want to farm the whole jungle and not let them get this tower yet. It's too early to do that. Next thing, even from here, I'm already thinking about what am I going to do at minute 10 Carapod. Can I go top? Can I go mid? Or can I just save my Carapod bot? You need to already prepare your move. 2 minutes earlier, it doesn't matter. We already got mid tower. And now here, I'm going to leave skeletons. I want to leave skeletons first. Yeah, there we go. Leaving skeletons before I TP with Red King. This is a bit of a different hero. But if you're playing Illus, you're playing Red King, you want to leave the Illus or the skeletons on the lane before you TP away. So the lane keeps getting pressured, even though you're not there. And I TP bot, because these guys are dying. There's the Carapod. I already checked top Carapod is dead. Mid one, the tower is dead. So this is the only Carapod left on the map. And I want to take care of it. And we get a kill for it. And all of this is just a big setup for how you want to farm and how you want to stay on the map. That's something I'm going to show you in the next episode or the future episode. You see top Carapod dead, mid Carapod, we got tower, and bot tower is still up. And that's minute 10. So do you see how much we got on the map right now? If you see, we have the whole map. This side, this side, this side. It's so ours because we saved the towers. This is so important. These guys, if they want to come to you, they have to use a smoke, or they're going to have to make a move that's going to be obvious for you, because the lanes are good. Imagine you lost a tower or you lost mid tower. They're going to walk in your jungle and you have no idea from where they're going to come. That's why it's so important to save these towers. Another concept of knowing when to fight and when to farm is by feeling can you stay in front of the fight? Can you tank up spells before fighting? Or are you too weak to fight? Because sometimes you're going to be too fragile and you're going to die from anything that gets you, basically. But in some games, you feel so strong that you can stay in front, tank spells, and this is going to make you want to fight. This is a good way to look at things. If you can tank spells, you should be fighting, because this is going to help you win the fight, every fight, basically. And in this replay, this is exactly what I want to show you. In this replay, I'm playing Stark against Team Enigma, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. First, we killed them, and they saw that Rubik TP'd bot. So these guys were confident that they can take up a 4v5 fight. But looking at my items, I have Echo Saber, I have Halberd, I can tank spells, I can stay in front, so I'm not going to back off. In this moment, I want to force as much as I can from this situation. And we know that these guys are charging on us, because we saw them, and they keep going with me. It's actually 3v5, because Centaur is not yet in a spot. But I don't back off. I know I'm going to tank spells, and I keep sitting and sitting until my whole team comes. But I'm tanking every spell that I can. As you can see. This is opening the fight, because I didn't back off. I get gripped, almost die. But you see, they want to fight. They're getting baited into this fight. This is what I mean by that. If you feel like you can tank spells, you should bait fights. These guys are getting baited right now, and they're all going to die for it. See? This is how you should play. Like the moment you feel like you can tank spells, you don't back off. You just keep forcing the issue. And you see one hero's dead, two heroes dead, even though it was a 3v5 fight. That's what I mean by that. But if you feel like you're fragile and you're gonna die from, let's say, the first grip, you're not gonna go into this fight, but you're just gonna back off and you're gonna keep farming until you feel like you can bait spells or you feel like you're strong. Another concept I wanna talk about is like, can my hero help on the other side of the map? Let's say you feel like these guys are pushing your bot tower, and it doesn't matter if you defend it or not. Like sometimes you can even lose the tower to the Carapod, but you feel like you can get a top tower and you can get more out of the map there. Let's say you're playing TB with a meta, or a Void with a Chrono, or Red King with ulti, or Sven with ulti. It doesn't matter. You just go to top, you use the Carapod, or even without a Carapod, just try to push the tower and place yourself on the opposite side of the map. Sometimes you need to mirror the maps. This is how you get like, first of all, you're safe. Second, you get the more at least, than if you sit on the bot side of the map. You need to look at, is your team ready to help you? Because when the mirroring happens, usually it's gonna be like a few heroes at bot lane. Or imagine you're playing Radiant and you wanna save the bot tower, but your team is not ready to do it, right? So you wanna mirror already. You wanna find a new spot, because if they're committed to pushing bot, they're gonna take the rest of the map as well on the bot side. They're gonna take a few camps and you're not gonna be able to farm there. So you wanna mirror, you wanna look at the opposite side. And that's when you go, you just go there. Like if your team is not ready to help you, or if you don't have the resources, just don't do it and mirror them up. It's an easy concept how to farm properly. So how you can identify what a power spike is, it's usually, like it could be level 12 ult, it could be level 2 ult, it could be an item, but most of the time it's an item. Like for example, with Slark, the Halberd could be a power spike, because the only way you die, for instance, is from light leaks, but with Halberd, it kinda blocks everything. Or it could be you're playing an anti-mage and the only way you die is from silence, but you buy the Manta, right? That's when you want to force the issue, because there is no way you die anymore. Or let's say you're playing a Void, or you're playing, doesn't matter what hero you're playing, and the enemies have mostly magical damage, and then you buy the BKB. So the moment you get this BKB, you want to either smoke or just force the issue as hard as you can, because you know that they cannot like fight you at all anymore. So that's kind of a way to look at how the power spike works. For instance, how you can like find the difference between like fighting and farming items. Let's say you're playing a Slark. No, it doesn't matter what hero you're playing, and you buy an item that doesn't improve your farm, but just makes you tankier, for instance. You want to force the lanes. Like the moment you feel strong, the moment you get this item, doesn't matter what item it is, you want to force the lanes and force TPs, or just force them to be where you are. You don't want to go where they are. You want them to come to you. Like you're looking for a fight, right? So it could be you forcing a tier 2 tower or a tier 1 tower. Could be Roche. You're just basically asking them to come to you, because you want to fight with this item. You don't want to just sit and farm jungle because the other guy, for instance, bought a Battle Fury, right? He's going to outfarm you. You don't want to do that. You want to force them to come to you. Basically, the most important thing about being a carry, I think, is, at least in the first 35 to 40, like 35 minutes, I would say, is that you know when to force a fight. Like that's what I mean by that, is that when you get these items, what people do wrong usually is when they buy an Echo Saber, they don't force the issue. They don't push this advantage. It doesn't have to be a big advantage. For instance, Echo Saber is not a big advantage, but it's an advantage that you want to use. So every time you get these small advantages, it could even be just one level ahead of the guys. Like it could be you being level 15 faster than everyone else, and you feel like this talent is going to help you like not die in the fight. You know what I mean? You want to use all these things. Like you want to push, like you want to force the issue as much as you can and always get more out of them, not just chill. Because most of the guys I notice that make mistakes, like they get Echo Saber or they get level 15, they get Ags, they don't force the issue. So they're just chilling and chilling and chilling. That's not how it works. You need to force it the moment you get it. You don't waste time. You don't waste even a second. You just go for it and you tell your team that this is what you're going to do. You need to explain to them that this is why you're doing it. So they're going to follow you. If you push the lanes good enough, you could smoke and go into a fight. If you haven't pushed the lanes good enough, you just force a tier 2 tower and force them to TP. That's when you can even move away from top and find another like pick off. It could be Roche. It could be so many, like for instance, like a rune fight. You know, let's say minute 16, you get a DD rune or a haste rune or EV rune, you just go in like you don't care. Like YOLO, basically. The most common mistakes people usually do after the laning stage is that they don't realize what's the most valuable place on the map to be. Like I see people, like for instance, they have the triangle open, ancients and everything, and they don't farm there. They keep sitting on the wrong side of the map or just forcing the wrong fights. This is like the most common mistake. You need, like after the netting stage, you need to realize what's the most valuable space for me. That's when you need to be, basically. So for instance, I'm asking myself the questions like, let's say I'm playing a Morphling, right? And I cannot be bullied out of the lane. So in some cases, I don't want to leave the lane ever. But if I feel like my top guy, let's say my top guy is a Sand King who is struggling on the lane and he needs to get a lane, right? I'm just going to TP top and I'm going to let my Sand King stay bot. He gets the lane and I keep farming ancients because I want to help my guys when I have advantage, for instance. Or if you feel the opposite, let's say you're dying on bot lane and you don't have a space to be, you want to go to ancients, right? So just get away from it and you leave a support on bot lane. Those are the questions like I'm asking myself constantly. Like where my guys want to be. Not only myself, but my team as well. Like I need to coordinate this with my team. If my Sand King is struggling, you need to help him. That's the concept. Let's say like a Sand King is having a bad game, or Brewmaster or Batrider is having a bad game, and you tell him that he should come bot, gets the lane like from you. Comes to your lane, let him lane there, he doesn't do it. Sometimes he doesn't agree with you, he wouldn't do it. So that's when you don't have a choice, and he keeps feeding, but that's nothing you can do anymore. If you offer your help to your offlaner or your mid guy and he doesn't listen to you and he keeps doing whatever he thinks is right, this doesn't matter. You still keep pushing the advantage on your own lane. You don't need to rotate anymore. You just keep doing what you're doing and ignore these guys, but you still have to offer them the help. You still need to tell them what's right, because even if they don't listen to you, you did the right job, right? Next game it's going to work out. You still have to do it. The most important thing, I feel like, transitioning from the laning stage is realizing where your place is on the map. And this happens by defending or pushing towers. It kind of gives you like help to where you want to be on the map. Sure, this is also the moment where you want to abuse the power spikes. It could be on your team, or you want to dodge the enemy power spikes. You don't want to fight into a Slark with Echo Saber or Halberd, for instance. You just want to chill until you feel strong enough. And yeah, you have to dodge the enemy power spikes as well.